So I always like to put the ending in the beginning so that we at least have a taste of it right from the start. And it's always there as we go delve into the rest of the path. So what we are ultimately practicing here is letting go of the normal drive of our everyday life, which is to solve a bunch of problems, achieve a bunch of things, fix a bunch of issues, make ourselves feel good, generate the right kind of experiences. And we're doing the opposite of that. We are going to sit down and just accept where we are right now. Whoever you are arriving as, in whatever environment you're arriving in, with whatever feelings you are having, with whatever mind that you are experiencing, that is perfect. That is the perfect set of circumstances for you to practice with today. And so as much as you can, just acknowledge those circumstances. Without trying to change them. For some of you, this pulling off the gas pedal, so we're no longer racing around trying to fix everything, we're now just easing up, you'll start to feel some relaxation in the body, a sense of a little bit of ease somewhere. It might intensify some feelings and thoughts, but if you can tune in, you might notice, oh, there's a little part of me that relaxed when you said, I don't have to change anything. Not trying to achieve anything today. There are no right ways to meditate. All we're trying to do is be here with ourselves. And if you can notice that relaxation, then that's really the second stage of this meditation, is to begin to move towards a resource, to turn our attention towards a resource. I'm going to make that resource our breath for today. But for instance, if you did that first part, which is just to acknowledge where you are and started to feel resource, you could use that resource as the place to start focusing. So we'll just focus in on the breath in the belly. We notice the breath comes in and the breath comes out, and then the breath pauses in between for a short time or a long time. And that energy of not trying to change anything or fix anything, we bring now to the breath. So we aren't trying to breathe in a particular way. We aren't trying to adjust the breath or speed it up or slow it down. We're not trying to make it deeper, but it's allowed to get deeper. It's allowed to do whatever it wants. So we can tune into the breath as if it is an ocean wave that we have no control over, but we get to watch. It comes in when it wants to come in. It goes out when it wants to go out. It pauses for as long as it wants to pause. And we just wait for each thing to happen. Your breath could be very shallow. It could be arrhythmic. It could be tight. It can be deep and smooth and rhythmic. Anything is fine. We're not trying to control it. All we're trying to do is attend to it. So although we are practicing concentration, we want to practice it with ease as much as possible. When we notice our mind getting caught in other thoughts or distractions in the world, we just gently bring it back to the breath. We might use a label. Today, we're going to use a label in and out. So we label the in breath in, label the out breath out. As you do this, you may start to notice again some kind of sense of calm that enters the body. Not a perfect calm or a perfect relaxation, that's not required. But there's just a sense in the body that goes, okay, we're not changing anything. We're paying attention to ourselves. This attention that we're using from the very beginning has a kind of love to it, an affection to it. Even if it's uncomfortable what you're looking at, giving it attention is a way of caring for a thing. In, out. So if you're having any trouble concentrating, really use the label. If you're finding it really easy to concentrate, then I really want you to try and reduce the effort as much as possible so that you have as little effort as you need to stay present with the breath. If you are able to almost effortlessly stay with the breath in the belly, then I really want you to try and sink your awareness down into the belly and feel the belly from within the belly. Not that you're looking down at the belly, but that you are in the gut, way below the head, just experiencing the breath. Those are 3 stages there. So if you're having a lot of trouble concentrating, label. If the concentration is relatively easy, then reduce any effort you're giving. If you're able to reduce the effort and still concentrate with a lot of ease, then allow awareness to drop. Don't force awareness to drop, but allow it to drop if it wants to drop lower into the body. And throughout all of this, if you're starting to notice some pleasantness and peacefulness in the body, then that is what we are tuning into. The breath comes in and we feel peace. The breath goes out and we feel peace. The breath is waiting in the pause and we feel peace. The breath comes back in and we feel peace, or love, or joy, or relaxation, or just pleasure, or just okayness. That's fine. That's as good as all the others. This on its own can be a very deep meditation, and there'll be all sorts of reasons not to move on right now if you're feeling incredibly spacious and grounded in resource. That can be so good for your soul, for your nervous system. And if you aren't feeling any relaxation or pleasure, this is very challenging, then this is probably the place to stay, or to move your attention to something else that feels good in the body, but to stay with working with resource. All the people on this call at this point know what I mean by resource. This is the first stage of this meditation, is to make sure you've tuned into some resource so that you have created at least the direction of feeling a little bit of safety and relaxation. At least you're moving in that direction. At least the body has calmed down a little bit. You found a little bit of settling. You've moved a little bit out of the stream of your everyday life, the stream of your everyday narrative of what you need to do. Doesn't have, none of this has to go away, but you've taken a little bit of a pause. However you do it, I want you to make sure that that's an early part of any meditation you're doing, if not the entire meditation, is moving in the direction of safety and relaxation. That doesn't mean you need to be perfectly safe or relaxed. That is not the goal. I want to repeat this because it's very important and it can be subtle. At first, meditation is about controlling our attention and deciding where we want to put it. But where we put our attention, we are not trying to change. So at first, we want to choose to put our attention on areas that are safer and more relaxed, or more pleasant, or more okay. That's all we're doing, is choosing to put more attention on those areas. We are not trying to force ourselves to become relaxed or safe or okay. That will happen over time, but it is not a requirement of your meditation. It is okay to feel anxious. It is okay to feel fear. It is okay to feel uncomfortable. It is all part and parcel of life. We're just practicing giving a little extra attention to the parts that feel okay, that feel safe. And we want to make sure that our meditations start with a sense that we have touched in with those parts of our experience. If we've never touched in with those parts of our experience in the meditation, then we want to keep trying, keep moving our attention in that direction. Now, I know most of the people in this call can touch into that, but some days you might find it very difficult, and that might be the place you stay. Because without some grounding and safety, some of the other stuff becomes very, very difficult to do. Or to see is a better way of putting it. It's very hard to see clearly if you have no contact with safety. Okay, so if you want to move on to the next part, we're still going to sort of be in resource. I want you to follow the breath, but now I want you to follow it in the nostrils. So we're doing a concentration move by changing our attention to the in-out breath in the nostrils. I want you to notice how the belly is still there in awareness. We're just changing our attention to the air coming in out of the nostrils. The same things apply. We aren't trying to control the breath. We don't care if it comes in shallow or long, or We're just feeling the coolness, the tingling, the pressure, the movement as the air comes in and out of the nostrils. In, out, in, out. So everything I said about concentration applies here as well. So if you're finding it, this is a narrower part of your breath, so it might be more challenging to focus on. So we really label and focus on the concentration, trying to stay with the breath without trying to control it. If we're starting to find the concentration manageable, then I want you to focus on ease. That is using as little effort as possible to stay concentrated on the nostrils. And if you're really super grounded and you fell all the way down into the belly before, this is advanced, so don't worry if it's not happening for you. But if you feel like you were really grounded in the belly, you can continue to feel like you're in the belly as you concentrate on the nostrils, or you can feel like you're in the nostrils as you focus on the nostrils. So two options for that deeper level of concentration. In, out. If the mind wanders, we just bring it back. There's nothing wrong with the mind wandering. That's an opportunity to increase your concentration muscle. Okay, as always, you can stay at any of these stages if you want, but we're just going to now start alternating between the belly and the nostrils. So I want you to do 3 breaths in the nostrils, and then 3 breaths in the belly, and then 3 breaths in the nostrils, and then 3 breaths in the belly. There's no controlling of the breath here. All we're controlling is the attention to the breath. So nostrils, 1, 2, 3. Please don't try to fit my rhythm. You're following your own rhythm. Belly, 1, 2, 3. Make sure you're feeling the actual breath, not the idea of the belly of the breath. Go contact the actual feeling right now, letting it come in when it wants to come in and go out when it wants to. Nostrils. Now, in your own time, 3 breaths in and out, really feeling the nostrils. This is an increased concentration task because we have to be able to move our attention between the 2 locations. As you come back to the nostrils the next time, I want you to notice that the belly is still in awareness, even as you're focusing on the nostrils. So we are attending to the nostrils, but the belly is still in awareness. Right? The belly does not disappear from your experience. Entirely. As you go back to the belly, the nostrils are still in awareness. As you go back to the nostrils, I want you to notice your attention moving through awareness, right? It was in the belly, and then you move it up through awareness to the nostrils. The belly doesn't disappear. Your awareness is aware of both the belly and the nostrils, and you're just choosing where you move your attention within that awareness. So we have jumped up a level of difficulty here, or there's a different insight here. So take your time with this. We're going to keep alternating between the belly and the nostrils. And I want you just to start to fall into the awareness that they both stay in awareness even as your attention changes. So what does it mean for it to be an awareness? Well, when we move our attention to a place, we can really focus in on, does it feel cold? Does it feel hot? Does it feel vibrating? That's all attention action. But when we just keep the belly or nostrils in awareness, they're sort of in the background. We don't need to attend to exactly how they feel. We just know they're there. And not know intellectually. We actually just sort of experience them as residing, waiting, sitting in awareness. As you do this, there's a kind of spaciousness that might start entering your experience. Your experience is getting a little bit wider. So you notice that even though you're attending to one thing, awareness is bigger and the attention is within that awareness. So the same thing that we said before applies to this situation. We want to keep labeling if our concentration is challenging. We want to start to add ease if our concentration is starting to work. And if we're really concentrated and it's really easy, we want to start experiencing our experience from within the experience. So when we're in the belly, we're in the belly. When we're in the nostrils, we're in the nostrils. When we're in awareness, we're in awareness. Notice if you've started controlling your breath in any way and let that go. And the next time you come to your belly, we're going to stay with the belly. What we're going to add is we're going to go in and out. And then in the pause between the out, we're going to start to zoom out and feel the whole body. So this is now we've removed the nostrils we're now doing in the belly breath and the whole body. So the whole body goes from the feet, the butt, all the way up the back, the top of the head, all the way down the front of the body, the whole body, all the way through into the bones and the organs. This is a little more challenging. So instead of moving between the nostrils and the belly, we're moving between a narrow part, the belly, and a wide part, the whole body. We're zooming in and zooming out. So we breathe in, belly. We breathe out, belly. And as the breath starts to go sink to its end, we start to zoom out and feel the whole body. So the label here would be in, out, whole body. In, out, whole body. So don't forget the basics here, really feeling the belly and really feeling the whole body. We're trying to take the whole body in at once. At first, that might not be possible. So you might just start with the torso, or you might just start with the legs and belly. But we slowly want to zoom out so that we can feel the whole body as one unified experience. In, out, whole body. Whole body. Reminder that you can stay anywhere. And then if you're starting to get tense or effortful, you might either want to go back a stage or just really pay attention to that and make it easier. You don't have to do this whole meditation today. I'm intentionally going through quite a few things. At a certain point in your practice, each of these things will be so practiced that it'll be easy to go from one to the other. But that's probably not how it is for most of us now. It's a shift of effort. So there are no goals here. The only goal is to be really attuned to how you feel and what seems authentic and useful for you today. So before we go on to any of the rest, I want you to really check in with yourself. You can go back to just resourced or just feeling the breath in the belly and just stay with that. You can add a sense of awareness to that. So adding some spaciousness around it, going, oh yeah, the belly is coming in and out, but I'm aware. Awareness is in the whole body, even as I'm doing that. That is sort of a culmination of what we've been doing here, but it actually is a simple practice. You're breathing into the belly, you're feeling what happens in the belly, but you're also noticing that it's sitting in awareness. And then in that awareness is the body, and awareness is the rest of the room, and awareness is my voice. Other things to be really tuned into here. Did did the moving on to the next stages start to create a sense of anxiety or stress or tension? And that's not bad. You sort of want to feel into that and be aware of that. Those of you who have practiced with me know you can do that. That's also sensation in the body. You don't want to just keep pushing if your body is saying, I'm getting stressed out. So you either go back a stage or you stop and give some attention to the stress itself or the anxiety itself, or you alternate between resourcing the anxiety. You want to show that you are listening to yourself. That's what creates a sense of safety. So for some reason, as I'm making you do this next practice, your body goes, oh, I'm not liking this. You just have to listen to it. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to do what it wants, but you have to prove that you're listening to it, either by really feeling it or by taking a step back, going, one doesn't want me to go this far. I'm going to take a little step back. In 30 seconds, they might be ready to go forward again if you listen to it, or it might not be ready today, but you have to listen to yourself. This is where safety is created. And so our meditation is a practice of being gentle with ourselves. Some of us, this is easy. Most of us, this is hard. We want to get to the next step, the next stage, the next improvement, the next accomplishment. But in doing that, we often run over parts of ourselves that have not been listened to for years. So there is no hurry to get anywhere. So in, out, whole body. As we breathe in and we're feeling the belly, the whole body is still in awareness. As we breathe out and we're feeling the belly, the whole body is still in awareness. As we zoom out to the whole body, we're already there. The whole body was already in awareness. So the zooming out can happen gradually, but in a sense, it can happen instantaneously. Awareness moves at the speed, at infinite speed within itself, because everything is in awareness. So it doesn't require any effort ultimately to move to the whole body, because it's already in awareness. So a slightly advanced stage right here, for those who want to try it, is to continue doing this with the eyes open. So you might open your eyes, feel the breath in the belly in, feel the breath in the belly out, and then feel the whole body, but your eyes are open. And with your eyes open, you can start to sense that your body sits in space. You don't need to open your eyes to have that sensation. You can keep your eyes closed and just be awake to the fact that as you're aware of the whole body, you're also aware of the space around your body. Even if it's just sort of a millimeter of space all around your body. You should check in again and make sure you're not trying to control your breath. Really see if the breath wants to last longer or if it wants to go shorter. You can feel the desire of the breath in the belly, like waiting for the belly to choose to come in and out, or you can feel the desire of the breath in the whole body, waiting for the whole body to choose to breathe in or breathe out. So now I want you to start easing off your control of your attention here. So we're doing a big shift here, and you can stay with what we've been doing. If you have, so the marker for this stage would be that you're able to stay with the zooming in and zooming out process. And that it becomes easy to switch from the whole body back into the belly. Because then what you can do is ease off the effort and just no longer worry about the switching. And what might happen then is you might find yourself just sitting in the experience of the whole body or in the belly, but then you'd be in the belly with an awareness of the whole body at the same time. Either of those would be sort of what one would expect if you've really settled into a concentration state. So we're easing off the effort now to the point where we're not even controlling our attention. Of course, the breath is still happening in awareness. Now we're going to do something that is relatively advanced at this point. We're going to start noticing where our attention goes. All of you that are sitting with me now know how to work with all the elements of your experience. So we're going to add labels here at this point. In fact, we're just going to switch to the 3 labels: feel, hear, and see. So we just notice where our attention goes. If it's still feeling the body in any way, emotional or physical, we'll label it feel. If it's hearing something, if the attention is going to my voice or a sound in the environment or thoughts in the head, sound, talk in the head, we'll label it hear. Or if we're seeing something with our eyes open or with our eyes closed, imagined images, we'll label it see. The labels are to help with concentration. If you're feeling super concentrated, you can just not control your attention. That's all that we're really doing here. This is called global concentration. Instead of the concentration where we control our attention, this is a concentration where we let go of completely of control of our attention, but we stay present for whatever is happening. So notice at every moment, your attention is somewhere in experience. Every 3 to 5 seconds, you could label what type of thing that is. Is it a feel? Is it a see? Is it a hear? This actually is a very relaxing practice. So if you're feeling stressed out, just notice that what you're really supposed to do here is nothing. The labeling is just to help us stay present. So you no longer have to control your attention. Nothing could be a distraction at this point. The only way to not do this is to get lost inside of your experience. So you're no longer present for what's happening. So it might sound something like this inside your head if you're labeling. Feel, see, hear, feel, feel. Now, there are many more feels, sights, and hears than you could ever label. And as you get more and more concentrated, you'll notice that your attention is picking up thousands and infinite number of things. You just want to be present as that flow of attention moves through your awareness. As you do this, your attention may be very jumpy and jumping between lots of different things, or it may start to settle. So we'll practice global concentration for a couple minutes here. In some ways, global concentration is the apotheosis of mindfulness. When you can really practice this, then you can go through your whole day present for everything without needing to control your attention. In doing this, you may find your attention getting stuck or drawn to one part of your experience. If you're having an emotional experience or you're having a certain thought pattern, that's totally normal. It may be a suggestion that you should sort of step back and work just with that area in a more specific kind of mindfulness way, like just working with the anxiety or sadness, and just sit with that today. You can do that with global concentration, or you can make a choice to really focus on it. Either one of those work. It's not a problem, but I wouldn't move on to the next stage if your attention seems to be stuck in a loop of any sort. That loop is really healthy to practice or to go through or to allow it to keep happening. But we want that to sort of resolve, at least temporarily, before we move on to the next stage. And by resolve, all I mean is we want a little of a sigh, a little bit of relaxation. That doesn't mean the anxiety goes away or the sadness goes away, but your body goes, okay, I feel listened to. And that allows your attention to maybe move wider afield. Even as the sadness stays there, attention doesn't have to be on it all the time. So there is still effort here, and that's the effort to stay present. But every other effort is being let go of. Every other effort in your life is being let go of. You don't have to accomplish anything here. You're not trying to improve or change, or even your attention, you're not trying to improve or change. Just present for whatever's happening, including where your attention is going. So your attention could be very narrowly focused, or it could be very wide and spacious, doesn't matter. So again, if you start to feel calm and free in this experience, then that would be the marker for moving on to the next stage. Again, today you can move with me or you can stay here. The next stage is not very different, but I would try in this global concentration first before I do the next stage, which is just attention on attention, or rather awareness of attention. Now we're already sort of doing that, but we're just stepping back a step. So this is slightly subtle. As your attention moves between a feel and then a see or another feel, we're just going to watch how attention is moving, and we're no longer concerned too much with what it's moving to. So at this point, we drop the labels feel, see, and hear. Now we don't even care what we are feeling, seeing, and hearing. All we're interested in is the movement of attention. So this is a little harder to tune into. The way we can tune into it is we notice that, for instance, as the attention moves from the nostrils to the belly, we can see it's moving. It's changed its location. Or as the attention moves from the belly to the whole body, we can see it's changing. It went from narrow to wide. So we are sort of returning to a type of mindfulness now, and we're just attending to attention, and we can notice things like, where in the universe is it? We can notice how it's moving. Is it moving forward or back, up and down, left or right, in and out? We can notice if it's narrow or wide. We can notice if our attention is moving in a smooth fashion or a rhythmic fashion, if it's not moving at all, or if it's moving in a very jumpy, staccato, chaotic manner. None of these are better or worse. What we are practicing is now just watching attention itself. For most people, this will be most obvious in the visual realm at first. It'll be easier to see how your attention is moving between visual objects. But ultimately, we're interested in how the attention moves between all the objects, the visual, the physical, and the auditory. The mental, interior, emotional, and the external. Attention is like a spotlight that it can be very narrow or wide. And what we're doing now is we're watching the light itself. If you were to just do this with no preparatory practice, you would notice that your spotlight is very narrow most of the time, jumping around and very narrow. At this point in the meditation, you might notice that it's wide and it's not moving that much. It doesn't have to be that way, but that's possible. It could get very, very still. That's fine. In fact, that's Fantastic. Then it's a kind of concentration task to not get sucked into thought. But if you get sucked into thought, that's okay, because now your attention is getting narrowed down into thought and you just follow it as it does that. Think of your attention like a wild horse. And you're kind of taming it, but the way you're taming it is just by letting it spend all its energy. You're putting it on a leash, but the leash is not to control it at all. The leash is just so you stay present with it, so it doesn't run away. Other than that, it gets to go anywhere at once and use all the energy it has. Okay, we've been going for a while here, so I want to finish up with the final thing here. I'm going to sit for a few minutes with this, and I just want you to notice that attention is moving through awareness. Attention can only attend to things that are in awareness. So wherever it goes, it's in more awareness. And it's a little bit more weirder still, but we start to just become awake to the awareness itself. It's sort of awake to the space within which attention is moving. So attention moves around within something, and now we are becoming awake, aware of the awareness. Now this can get a little puzzling because you might try and turn your attention to awareness, but that will be almost impossible. You'll turn your attention to an idea of awareness. Instead, what we want to do is bring our awareness to awareness. So we are aware of all the things in our awareness, and we can be aware of awareness. If you get caught in attention, you watch it move. Ah, there's attention moving. What's it moving through? It's moving through awareness. Ah, you're back at awareness. In this sense, you're totally letting go of control. So we did a shift from feel, image, sound to attention itself. And when we did that, we let go of feel and image and sound. We sort of let go of tracking them. Now we're doing the same thing. We are shifting from attention to awareness, and in that we're letting go of attention. And we're just falling back into awareness within which attention is moving. So we're letting go of more and more effort. We don't have to track any of our sensations, and now we don't even have to track our attention. Our attention can go wherever it wants because we are awareness. So there's 3 levels here, and you can start to notice where you get caught. You get thought in a thought, then you just notice you're back at a feel, image, or sound. Fine. Notice that. And you can start moving back to attention, noticing attention moving around, and then notice attention moving through what? It's moving through awareness. Or you can notice your attention gets very narrow, but you're not too caught up in what it's on, and you just notice that attention is where you are. And you notice again, attention is where, what's it moving through, what's it inside of? It's inside of awareness. It can only move to things that are already in awareness. What you start to notice is that everything is in awareness. Everything in the universe is an awareness. Everything in your universe is an awareness. Everything in your subjective experience is in awareness. And it's all there simultaneously. And they are all connected immediately, instantaneously. All your feelings, thoughts, sounds, wherever attention is moving, but everything is there together. Okay, so we're going to stop there, but you don't have to stop. So everything we were doing, especially from global concentration on, is something that can continue throughout your day. And I really am interested to know how this worked with people. So please take the moment now to start moving your body. You can stretch a little, you can run your hands over your body, you can give yourself some affection. We want to return to the beginning and make sure that we're touching in with some resource. Your body did not have to be still. There's nothing wrong with moving. You get up, move your feet, and come back for question and answer in 2 minutes.